What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Lou Reviews, your destination for critical thinking in the realm of the unexplained. Today, before we get started, of course, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. That way you're notified anytime we go live. We got rid of our Patreon. We have a Venmo down below. So if you want to donate to the show, it's in the link tree. Go check it out. Donate at your heart's content. We've got super chats open as well if you'd like to get a burning question in here that you must have answered. Today, we're going to discuss disclosure. The big Saturday disclosure that happened that turned out to be a egg on the face of Ross Coulthart so far. It's wild how quickly the internet just rips these disclosure events apart, and it's not because we're trying to hate, it's because it's just too fucking easy. And we'll get into all of those reasons why. I also had a discussion with Ross Coulthart, or not Ross Coulthart, but his partner and fellow podcaster Bryce Zabel, who's also here in Los Angeles, and I got to express some of my concerns to him, and so we'll play that and talk about that. And yeah, that's basically all we're going to talk about today is this disclosure, this Jacobs, gosh, forgetting his freaking name. It's so inconsequential. It's like it doesn't even matter. Every time these things happen, it seems like I get more and more people DMing me going, I've had it. I've had it with the Ross Coultharts. I've had it with the Jeremy Corbells. I've had it with these whistleblowers that are selling things to me. Jake Barber is the guy's name, the new whistleblower that's just come out. So let's get into it here in a minute, right after we say hello to everyone here in the chat. Fifi Barbora, Dave B, Simon Fly, thanks for the share on Twitter. Sandra McDonald, Bobby Broadway. Did I say Dave B? If I didn't, Dave B, Sandra McDonald, thank you for being here. SL, what is going on? DL, what's going on? Tixonator, appreciate you being here. B Baker, always a pleasure. Morty Matt, good to see you. Preston Paget, what's going on? Now that I've become death is here. Thanks for being here. The Blue Bomber. Anyone mentioning how put off Uri Geller should send all the red flags? Yeah. Well, we've talked about how put off quite a bit on this show. We haven't focused too much on Uri Geller because if you take him seriously, I don't think there's any help for you. What's up, Pinzer? Our mod. Pinzer, what's shaking? Okay, so let's get into it, shall we? Let's switch to the good old Lou Reviews studio. Oh, it's my private email, you guys, about our sketches this month. Okay. Let me get out of that. All right, so I don't have a whole bunch of... Hey, where did it go? Where'd my videos go, man? I've got today... All right. All sorts of weird stuff happening on my desktop right now. Give me a moment, guys, while I get some things together here that I thought were ready to go, but for some reason have gone away. Let me get to my show clips folder. So I guess the first thing we'll start off with is there was a huge News Nation exclusive report by Ross Coulthart, and this is the biggest thing that came out of it, this footage right here. And of course, we're going to preface all of this with fair use. This is a transformative work. We are educating the public on these clips that we are sharing. We're critiquing them and mocking them as well. So this is all covered under fair use and allowable by law. So here's the story in an eggshell, pun intended. We have this new whistleblower. His name's Jake Barber. He doesn't blink. when he tells his story. I've got the link to the entire Tubi special. You have to sign up for not Tubi, News Nation. Yeah, both of these things you like have to sign up for. All of these UFO disclosures. That's another thing that's just a huge red flag. Is it's always you got to sign up to this app to get this disclosure. So you got to sign up for News Nation because it's not a cable network television show or news network. And so I've got the link for that in the description if you want to watch this whole, I think it was 2-hour disclosure special, News Nation exclusive. So this gentleman, Jake Barber, who says he was a Green Beret operator, and there have been reports out there that seem to show his DD-214 doesn't show that he was a Green Beret operator. And we've had a couple people walk back that claim as well on Twitter. So we're still waiting for all of the dust to settle on that. But it seems like he's not exactly, his resume might be a little exaggerated, his military resume. And then on top of that, he's using this military resume to sell classes and to sell, well, you'll see, you'll see. Because it's part of this News Nation exclusive also, and it's a little commercial that they just sneak in right at the end for this guy. It's not his first time in public mentioning this company or this effort. He's been on News Nation before. So he was on News Nation in December before anyone really knew he was a UFO whistleblower. And now he's come out as a UFO whistleblower in an exclusive News Nation report by Ross Coulthart. We also must preface this, and this is something that I brought up in the space with Bryce Zabel, but it's worth mentioning now. Ross Coulthart is not known for his accuracy. And that's not an opinion. That's fact. So Ross Coulthart misreported on the worst kind of abuse you can report on adults and children within Parliament being abused by Parliament members, and he got it 100% wrong. People were fired, people were ostracized, people were publicly shamed. The news station that he worked for had to retract not just a statement. They made an entire episode dedicated to correcting all of the mistakes that Ross Coulthart made in a story like that. If he can get that wrong, imagine how wrong he's getting UFOs. And it seems like he did it with intention. And it was so bad that he did not get his contract renewed at that station. We've heard stories from Ross about UFOs so big, a UFO that had crashed into the Earth's surface, and it was so big it could not be moved. As a matter of fact, they had to construct an entire building around it. Never mind the logistics of something like that. Never mind the idea of, well, how many NDAs do we have? How many contractors? How many plumbers? How many electricians? How many concrete layers? How many masons? How many just people that have to build a building around an alien spaceship? And how do you get all of those construction workers to not say anything? And where do you procure all of this equipment from? When you say something like a craft so big it can't be moved, I think of a couple city blocks. I think of an arena or a football stadium. And if you know anything about that kind of construction, it takes years to construct something that big. But Ross has no problem telling the world, yeah, I know where it is, and I'm not going to fucking tell you. How about that? I'm not going to tell you. We did a whole episode on this lie. And I'll just straight up say, I think it's a fucking lie. because there's no evidence, there's no witnesses, there's no corroboration, there's no construction workers coming to you out of the woodwork and being like, oh, I heard Ross say this. Can we talk about it? It fractured. I have a feeling it had partly to do with his friendship fracturing with Jay Anderson from Project Unity. Finally realizing he was being used as a fucking tool by Ross Coulthart. And he's come out and said that. And now we've got this. And I mean, I am leaving out a lot of errors in the Ross Coulthart journalistic fucking history here. There's so many errors, but I can't go. I don't want to make it this show about his errors. I want to focus on what he's putting out on Saturday, today. His newest journalistic heap of shit, as far as I'm concerned. And so I just have to preface everything we're about to talk about with that as well. So along with this Jake Barber, we get these fantastical stories about how he was part of a UFO crash retrieval team. They would send him and his team out and they would go recover UFOs. And he describes a UFO that looks like an egg. It's smooth. He says it's alien technology. How does he know that? Because he looked at it. He looked at it from his night vision goggles sitting up in his pilot seat. He didn't touch it. He didn't get closer than 150 feet to it because that's how long they say the tether was. And his buddies in the helicopter, who also happen to be part of the company, back him up 100%. They're all like, yeah, we saw this thing. So we get this description of this egg. No footage. Or do we have footage? So we get the story. Then, after this guy tells his story and his buddies come out and back him up, we get exclusive News Nation footage of the egg that he's talking about. It must be the same egg, right? It must be the same alien spaceship, right? No. This video has absolutely nothing to do with Jake Barber and his helicopter team and his UFO crash recovery efforts. This video, he doesn't know where this came from. As a matter of fact, nobody knows where this video came from. Only Ross Coulthart. It's an anonymous video. And so, red flag number one. The video that we're being shown is an egg, the exact same description as the new whistleblower, but yet these two things are not connected whatsoever. So what this tells me as a viewer of this nonsense is, shit, does this happen so much that they have a different video of either the same craft or another one that crashed? So there's at least two eggs that crashed into the planet Earth made by aliens and some alien species. And this is the other one. That's what we're being sold. But yet we don't know where this video came from. There's no military markings on this video, like, the direction in which they're facing, the temperature, the heights, the all of the things that you would expect when you're flying something. This just seems to be, and this is another thing. It's like, is this camera attached to the bottom of the helicopter? If so, how did you do that? Because it's not a military camera, clearly. This is like somebody's cell phone or something. Or is this a cropped image of the tether through the aircraft hole? Because usually when you tether things through a helicopter, there's somebody at the top of the tether looking down through a hole where the tether is going through, making sure that they're connected properly. We don't see that here. Got a donation from Lord Ludacris. Oh, don't worry. Gonna get into it. Don't beat me to the punch. Because it's probably been my most popular tweet in the last 4 or 5 years, easily. So I've talked about the video. Let's play the video, right? You out there in the podcast, obviously you can't see this, but let's check it out on YouTube or go to Tubi and look for it yourself. Again, it's not very difficult to find. Link in the description. But let's play this video. And then I'm going to highlight the things that are wrong with it. And then I'm going to read this comment, this donation from Lord Ludacris. Okay? We're going to get into it because this is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Again, fair use. This is transformative work. We're educating the public on the videos and news that's being shared with the public. We are critiquing it. We are mocking it. And this is covered under fair use and allowable by law. And again, the description for these clips are in the description below. So let's play it. And if you can, sorry to delay it again. If you can, put on a pair of headphones, because I think that's also very important when you're listening to this clip, because it's going to be something that I bring up. And if you listen to it through headphones, I think you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. So I'll give you a second to put on some headphones. If you have them, put them on. It's like drink them if you got them. I'll drink a little bit of water, quench my throat, and now we're going to play it. Here we go.
Let's slow this down to take a closer look.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, that's the clip. Okay, they're going to slow it down to get an extra look. And I'm just also noticing something here on second take as well. Or not second take, this is probably the 50th time I've looked at it. And I just also realized this. And I've warned people, if you always want to tell if a UFO video is fake, if it's got spooky music to it, it's fake. This has spooky music to it. I know it's television, but they put spooky music on this. Why? Why can't we get the raw audio of this clip? Now, if you've put on your headphones, the reason why I've asked you to put them on is because I also want to point out and just rewind this again and listen to this short clip. Listen to those helicopter blades. Do those sound dubbed into you? Because they sure sound dubbed into me.
Let's slow this down.
Okay, so the red flags, number 2 or 3, I'm not sure which red flag we're on yet. Okay, but let's go over this. Okay, so number 1, and this is what Lord Ludacris brought up. Where is the rotor wash? Where is the rotor wash from the helicopter that we're hearing? And if you don't know what rotor wash is, when a helicopter comes within 200 feet of the ground, and this is 150, okay, you'll see dust kick up. You'll see blades of grass part way. You'll see things move around because the force of wind coming down onto the ground is immense. Where is the fucking rotor wash on this amazing footage? Where is it? I don't see it. Do you guys? And that's another thing. The quality of this fucking video. It's shit. It's, again, downgraded, fuzzy, shitty video. But where's the rotor wash? People are arguing that this is grass, this is astroturf, this is patchy grass, this is dirt. Where's the fucking rotor wash to prove any of those things? So that's number 1. Lord Ludacris also goes on to say, why does the grass not move? Why was the sound of the helicopter added? And is it a fake or a hoax using an egg? Well, we're gonna dive into it. We're gonna dive into it. So, no rotor wash. That's number 1, and I think that's a fucking big one. Okay, number 2. This is supposed to be an alien spaceship something rare and precious, a diamond in the rough, a once in a billion thing. And there's no ground crew to receive this thing. They're just dropping it in, from what I can tell, is kind of a rocky, patchy field of some kind. There's no tarp. There's no landing pad. There's no truck that they could put this on. No, we're just gonna fucking toss it on the ground and let it roll. The alien fucking spaceship. We're just gonna toss it onto the fucking ground and let it roll around. Fuck it. And how are you gonna get it off the ground? How are you gonna put it on a truck now? It's not on a fucking pallet. It's not on, it's like the logistics of this are so fucking stupid. So far, I'm really struggling to find a reason why Ross Coulthart even fucking put this on television. How did this make the final edit? And it's one of the questions I asked Bryce Zabel. And it's an interesting answer. We'll get there when we get there. We'll play the Zabel audio after this. But it's like, this is a fucking alien spaceship. This is precious cargo. And we're just tossing. It literally rolls around on the fucking ground because of the momentum of this tether. When it hits, they untether it, and then it just rolls on itself. It's so fucking stupid. Here's another problem with this video. The infrared. It's wrong. A lot of military veterans are coming out and saying this is a filter. There shouldn't be any yellows or whites in, unless it's really bright, in infrared. It's usually just black and green. Those are the two colors you get. It's a lot crisper than this. This is everyone, and I agree. I think it's a filter too. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. But just listen to how Ross Coulthart sells this to people on News Nation after he slows down the footage.
Let's slow this down to take a closer look.
Oh, boy.
An egg-shaped UAP.
That's an egg-shaped UAP. He doesn't say UFO because he did. Because UAP is the new thing.
Suspended from a 150-foot long line. We're told the craft is about 20 feet long.
It's a 20-foot long craft on a 150-foot tether. What seems like a 150-foot tether. We should definitely be getting rotor wash. Also, people have pointed out the shadow of this egg casts on the ground. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
We're told the craft is about 20 feet long. The egg suspended in a cradle. And look how careful the pilot is as they bring their precious cargo into land.
Yeah, their precious cargo that they're putting on the fucking floor of some field and watch it roll around as nobody takes control of it. Have you ever been to a construction site? I'm sure most of you have out there. When you see a huge crane in the city and it's got a massive load that they're swinging around, there's usually construction workers with ropes tethered to that massive load. So if it goes a little too far, they can pull on it and just bring it on back. Bring it on back. Don't want this thing to get too out of control. Don't want it rolling around, maybe falling out of the cradle. This is precious cargo, but not precious enough to put people on the ground to receive it. So which one is it? Is it precious or is it fucking not? Because as far as I can tell, this doesn't look precious at all. This actually looks, and people are saying this is an actual fucking egg, that this is a fake video. And I am leaning also that direction. I think this video is fake as shit. I think it's very easy to make. There have already been a lot of examples of people that have made something so similar but clearly faked, you know, but it's like the possibility of it is there. I'm excited to see what a corridor crew does with this stupid fucking video and what they think of the audio and the grainy quality and the idea that there's nobody there and there's no rotor fucking wash on this footage. But just how much selling, how much convincing Ross is doing here. And again, keep in mind, this is not the egg UAP alien spaceship that Jake Barber saw. This is a completely different ship with no source. It's anonymous. So as far as we know. So why are we putting this on fucking television and convincing people that this is a real alien spacecraft? Again, it goes to show how shitty of a journalist Ross Coulthart is because he's not asking himself these questions. Like, how does this look right to anyone? How can anyone look at this and go, man, this is compelling? And let me break it to you, it's not. How do I know this? Because there's only one fucking network that ran this story. And guess who it was? News Nation. That's it. It was broke on a Saturday night. That's not the night you break groundbreaking, world-changing news. Nobody picked this up, which is actually kind of shocking. Nobody picked this up. It's insignificant. Nobody gives a shit about the whistleblower. I wonder why. We'll get to it in a second. We'll get to why in a second. This is a slap in the face. And I think it's fucking fake. I think this is fake as shit. And I can't believe this made it past an executive producer. Like, somebody had to sign off on this. And it's why I wonder if Ross Coulthart has final say on these edits, because I think he does. I think he does. The way that he's, presented on the News Nation website as this journalist and with integrity and all this shit, and how he's producing these specials. So I would imagine he has final cut. So he knew exactly what he was doing. And the fucking part that drives me crazy, there's either one or two things that happen here. Either A, he didn't ask anybody else to look at this and just ran with it. Or B, he knows exactly what it is. He knows exactly what bullshit this is. And all this is a device to sell the story that Jake Barber's telling us. And I'm sorry, it fell flat on its fucking face.
Let's freeze frame here to look at one of the clearest images of a UAP ever taken.
Look at these strings that are connected to this thing. It looks like fishing line. Blizzard donated $3.33 through Super Chat. Thank you so damn much. Thank you so damn much. Damn, I'm late. Did we scramble eggs yet? Oh, we're scrambling them. We're scrambling them right now. Thank you for the donation, Blizzard.
This is no blurry light in a distant sky.
But this is a blurry fucking image on a shit. And here's the other thing, man. Look at right here in the left-hand corner, it says pause. That's the other thing I forgot to say. This is, I think, cell phone footage of a screen. Why is this coming through cell phone footage recording a screen?
The source of the footage putting themselves at incredible risk to record this UAP retrieval. Look at how perfectly smooth the craft is. No markings at all. and no visible means of propulsion.
No markings, no visible means of propulsion. It's an alien spacecraft.
Or way to see inside.
It's a joke. And Bryce Zabel, shame on you for not calling this out if you don't. This is such horseshit. Immediately this got roasted by even some of the most ardent believers. I mean, just how far this thing rolls, man. That audio is so bad in the spooky music. It's just, it reeks. Look how it rolls over itself.
To take a closer look.
The precious alien cargo. Oh, man. Okay. So right after this, there was supposed to be a big show on Twitter, something like that, with Bryce Zabel and Ross Coulthart, and that got pushed. They say it has nothing to do with the backlash or sort of response that this has gotten. But Bryce Zabel was kind enough to go into a space of his producer, who goes by the name of Astral. We've covered his spaces on my show quite a bit. I've got my issues with Astral. He's a nice guy. But he's a nice guy that falls for a lot of bullshit. And so, you know, that's kind of what it is as far as I'm concerned. And he overlooks a lot of stuff because he is the producer of Ross Coulthart and Bryce Zabel. He held a space, and there was only two people in there really that had sort of issues with the reporting of Ross Coulthart. The first was Paranormal Chris, and the way they shut him down in the space, I think, was pretty obvious. But fortunately, he got to say his piece and express his concerns and go out. And I said, well, let me see if they'll give me the opportunity to do that. And to their credit, they did. They let me into the space. And full disclosure, Bryce Zabel knows me. I know Bryce Zabel. I've helped Bryce Zabel get his podcast off the ground. I was the guy he came to first asking questions before he found another producer. And I think primarily he stopped talking to me because I changed my tune, and I changed it pretty drastically. And I have a lot of ire and frustration with his partner, Ross Coulthart. I like Bryce Zabel. I like Ross Coulthart. I know hanging out with them would be fun. That's not the issue here. It's not personal. It's the information that they propagate. But more specifically, I think it's the lack of questions on Bryce's part, and the lack of common sense, and the inability to take his own belief system out of this thing and look at it as an actual unbiased thinker. On the other hand, Ross has from other people's accounts taken advantage of them. He's used them. He's misreported not only on UFOs, but the most heinous crimes that humans do. He's a disgraced journalist by all accounts. He's been run out of Australian journalism and British journalism, and now he's settled in America at this fourth-rate internet network news program network. Whatever the fuck you want to call News Nation. As far as I'm concerned, it's not real news. And it's not credible news. God damn it, is it biased. And it also owns the same station that owns Coast to Coast AM and George Knapp's not KTLA, but whatever news station he works at for in Las Vegas. They have a pro-UFO agenda, and hiring Ross Coulthart as part of their lineup was with intentions. They want to be the first news network, to cover this nonsense. And they think they're getting in on some amazing scoop, and either they're just fucking just as mentally vulnerable investors and adults as the same people as in UFO Twitter are, or they're doing this with a purpose and intention to deceive and manipulate and get ratings and clicks and views. Or maybe they're doing both. Who knows? I'm not sitting here trying to figure out the intentions of a fucking news conglomerate, but I can tell you they're the only assholes covering this the way they do. And it's the only place that Ross Coulthart is respected or looked at as some sort of important pillar of journalism. And the only people outside of News Nation that look at him like that, unfortunately, are his partner and fellow broadcaster, Bryce Zabel, and the people who surround themselves with him. It's a blind spot, and that's putting it like as nicely as I can. It's a big blind spot for Bryce. And I'm going to play this whole interaction just because I want everybody to have the whole context of it. I don't want anybody to accuse me of just playing, a certain aspect of it or, whatever, because it was very cordial. And Bryce, again, he's a really nice guy. I don't have, my issues aren't with Bryce. My issues are with his colleague. And so, I'm going to play this whole clip. It's about 10 minutes. We'll stop and talk about it as it goes on, but I think I could skip the first 20 seconds here. So, let's play this.
Can't control what's going on over our skies. So that should be paid more attention to. And it's not even about a lot of the stuff with the attention that needs to be had to the topic about aliens and finding little green men. It's there's something going over our skies that we obviously don't have full control over. We need to spend some more time in figuring out what's going on. And I think that bottom line may be the best way to frame it going forward. But Lou, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up? So first, Bryce, I also live in Los Angeles. I didn't get affected by the fires like you did, but like you, I feel like putting this discussion into perspective compared to that, it just it sort of I don't know, for me at least, highlighted kind of sometimes how silly this conversation is. I have a question. On the News Nation website, it says that Ross Coulthart is a special correspondent and investigative journalist for News Nation. Do you know if he has final say over the edits of his Ross Coulthart News Nation Presents news pieces?
Hey, Lou. I talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm not sure. I was stunned to hear that George Knapp didn't have final edit over, or at least was in the edit room for his piece that was just on Netflix. Ross is a very hands-on guy. I'm assuming he was very involved, but I don't specifically know the answer to your question about whether he signed off on the final. I think he probably did, though. But I tell you, on the next time we are speaking publicly, I think that is, I kind of like getting behind the scenes and finding out as much about how these things get made as well as what they say. So it's a good question, Lou, and I'd like to find out, and I will.
So great. I kind of agree with him. I think he does have final say because he is literally producing it. He is the journalist reporting on it. He's putting the segment together. I imagine with his title and what he does there, yes, he has the final say of these edits. It seems like Bryce seems to agree, but he doesn't know. But he'll ask him. So, okay, great. The reason why I ask is because unlike you, I mean, obviously you work with Ross. I do not share the same confidence as you do in his journalism or his ability to report accurately. I think there are a few examples that I could. And again, we listed those 3 examples at the top of the show. I didn't want to get into it here because I didn't want to get bogged in the weeds on what I think Ross is misreported on. But I also, I left the door open. Hey, if you want to go there, we can. I don't want to get into, but we could talk about it if you want to. But I think here's the thing that really stuck out about Last Night for me is you've got a video that is, where it's supposed to be a helicopter, it's supposed to be an alien craft. There's no rotor wash. There's no one on the ground level to receive this object. There's no information on this video as far as where it comes from. And it's told in conjunction with a gentleman who says that he saw exactly the same thing that we're seeing on this video that is not connected to him at all. So I think it confuses the audience, number one. But number two, to me, it says that Ross is saying, oh, this happens all the time. It happens so much, as a matter of fact, that we've got a completely separate video from a completely separate helicopter crew that has nothing to do with Jacob Barber. And we're going to show you this video because we were able to obtain it and tell you the Jacob Barber story, and then end that story with all of the people who are supporting him are also part of this company that talk to aliens through their minds and are looking for investment to hunt aliens. It's just, it all is really messy from my perspective. I'm curious to know what you think of my perspective.
Lou, listen, I know you have your issues with Ross, and, we've talked about this before. I respect your right.
We've talked about this once, and we talked about it when all of this was going down with Lou Elizondo and the things that Ross Coulthart was saying and doing behind the scenes about that situation. And I called Bryce and I told him, and I expressed my concerns, kind of like how Jeremy Corbell was expressing his concerns with the big lie, right? I was expressing my concerns with the lie and manipulation and the blackmail that was going on with me. And I was begging these journalists to look into that. And they didn't. They left me high and dry. They stopped talking to me. They distanced themselves from me. They blocked me. Why? Because now all of a sudden I started asking you guys really fucking hard questions, just like I did here. Like, and this is the best thing too, is like, before this, everybody was like, oh, I'm still processing. I'm still processing on what this video and what this whistleblower means. Everybody was still processing. I'm not processing. I see this shit for exactly what it is, and I want to talk about it. And how do you not see this? But listen to his answer after I say this. He knows me. We've talked about it before. Listen to what else he says.
I disagree. I really do. I sometimes wish you would find other ways to express it, but that's an issue you and I could take offline sometime. But you're not wrong to point this out about the tape. And so I'd like to, that's one of the great things about the podcast I do with Ross, which is we have a conversation about the things that are happening in the topic and in our lives and how they intersect. And I think it's a legitimate thing that he probably would like to talk about. So I will ask him.
Okay, we'll see. And I appreciate that answer. Like, I appreciate the effort in you. We'll see. Let's see if you ask him these questions on the podcast for everyone to hear the answers to. I'm looking forward to it. And he says, well, I know, how you and Ross don't get along and how you express your opinions and how he disagrees with how I express my opinions. But there is no right way to express these opinions. There is no way for people to accept these opinions without just being blunt about them. There's no nice way to say it. And no matter how you put it, the person listening to it will never accept it. Almost 9.999 times out of 10 will never accept it. They just move on. They go, oh yeah, but what about this thing? I know you just disproved the thing I said, but what about this thing? Okay, so he's going to ask him. We'll see. We'll
either be speaking with Jake soon, or Ross and I'll do, if for whatever reason, Jake is unavailable, we still need to do a show, and that's what we'll be talking about. So I will definitely look into it. And also, Lou, thank you for your kind comments about the fire. It has been just for people that are in other places, not everybody got affected the same, but I have to say that, and Lou, I bet it sounds like it's true for you. What happened here in LA, we all know people that lost their homes, right? And it's a psychic kind of damage. I mean, I'm fine. My home is fine right now, but I feel like a different person than I felt like 2 weeks ago. I feel damaged.
We talked about this on Saturday and how difficult it was to come back and do this show because it seems even dumber. This topic seems so fucking stupid and so fucking insignificant and so unworthy of my time and my effort and my passions and my energy after seeing the fucking apocalypse happen in this town for a week straight. Like, all of my shifts have been cut at work today, and the fire's been out for a week. People are having a very difficult time feeling relaxed in this city. And so it was nice that we got to connect on that. And I don't think he's saying this to switch topics. I don't. But he did. He did. But I can relate to that. And I think he also can relate to that because that's how I started the conversation. Like, these fires, people watching your friends lose homes or being forced to move really puts this shit into perspective and how unimportant it is. There are real world issues out there that not only demand, but deserve infinitely more attention than UFOs. Infinitely more. I hope one day Bryce feels the same way. All right, let's play the rest of this. Oh, wait. There we go.
And it's just a tough thing for all of us because, and I do have and I'm curious if anyone else feels this way, as particularly Lou, if you're from Los Angeles, to the extent that there is a disclosure of any kind to come, I've often spent my thoughts thinking, well, what would actually happen? And I think what happened with the fire is kind of thought inducing. A lot of people who got burned out of their homes got very angry. Some, I mean, at least a large amount, because they said, why wasn't this taken care of? Why didn't I get told about it? And now I'm angry that they didn't do more. I think there probably will be some of that if there is a UFO disclosure to come. There's going to be a lot of different answers, but some people are going to feel like I feel right now, a little psychically damaged, and other people who actually have direct impact are going to be very angry. It's a dicey world we live in. And I think Lou and I and all the rest of you who live here in Los Angeles have probably had to take that into account.
Yeah, I could definitely vouch for that. I mean, again, like I've had some friends that have had to move. I've had other friends who've lost their homes. And I think the thing that people aren't talking about is the impact that it's had on the local economy. From my perspective, I'm in the service industry. Being an actor, that's what we do. And the entire service industry across the board has lost, if not 50% of their normal business, if not more. And I think it's because people are on edge. People don't know what the hell is going to happen next. The leadership isn't very good, so there's not a lot of answers. Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
And by the way, just not to turn this into a discussion of Hollywood, but the whole town, by the way, before these fires, had a pretty rough year with the actor strike and the writer strike and the director strike. and that also sent economic vibrations throughout the area. It's been a tough couple of years, and of course COVID before that. So from COVID to strikes to fires, it's almost biblical here in Los Angeles right now.
And that's I mean, like, I never really thought of it that way as an actor. I'm surprised I'm still here. Like that, I've survived. I mean, I moved here in 2010, and that was right after a major financial crash in the economy. And then, having to work back from that, and then we hit, the aughts here, or the 2020s. Really 2016 with all the the political unrests, and then going to 2020 with COVID, and then a writer's strike, and now these fires. Man, it's just been brutal. It's been brutal here, absolutely brutal. But yeah, I mean, again, like, it's even changed the discussion we're having here, right? But we get through this, and I bring it back, and it's interesting to see what happens after this. So let's listen to the rest of it.
It's crazy. The last 5 years have been crazy. But yeah, if you could ask Ross those questions, it'd be great. And yeah, I think just last, and I'll land my plane here and get out of everyone's hair, and you can bring up somebody else. But I think bringing up his DD 214 and his title of being an operator, if there are other veterans out there that are saying, hey, this doesn't match up, I think that's a really important question that could easily be answered either by Ross or by Mr. Barber himself. So either way, but yeah, I appreciate it, Bryce, and yeah,
Thanks.
I'm happy to hear all as well with you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
And so that's the interaction we had. And again, like, the reason why I bring up that DD 214, that's essentially his military record. And when the news piece zooms in on his military record, and people like, there are people within UFO Twitter who are veterans. And when they hear other veterans say things that aren't ringing right, they look into who those people are, and they find them. And then they compare what they say on TV to what their actual resume says. And according to this, the television version is he was a Green Beret and an operator, like a class 1 operator, I believe is the term. But when you look at the resume, that's the case. So there's like, things have to be addressed. This hasn't been put to bed, but it's leaning right now to be absolute garbage. But I think this is like, listen to what happens right after this. After these set of questions, Bryce leaves.
Thanks, Lou.
Stay safe out there, Lou. Glad you're all right.
Yeah, hearts out to everybody, man. And like and share the space. Thank you again, Bryce, for coming out. Just let me know on time. I know you're hanging out. Love for you to hang out and just chill. We're going to throw it around the room, too. Just Science Bob, what's up? What's up,
Tyler, before you do, I do have to run. I've got family obligations right now, but I wanted to thank everybody just for your interest, and for those of you who said kind things about the podcast and all that. I appreciate it. And I also just want to make sure as I leave that I'm not creating any space between me and Ross. I think Ross, again, is the best. He's, others may disagree, as Lou did, but I think he's just the best. And he's done a great job. And I give anything that he says on this topic, I pay very, very close attention to. So, I appreciate that you guys are doing that. And Ross would be the first to tell you that, journalists need to be questioned as much as sources, as much as government officials. Everybody, when you're searching for the truth, particularly in a strange and unusual story such as this one, deserves to be talked to and deserves to be questioned. It applies to all of us. And so no offense taken on my part for him or because I don't think he would take that. So thank you, everybody. And I'll see you all, on the air one way or the other. Thanks again.
Nick.
So that's the interaction we had. Go back and listen to the space. They asked him before I asked that question, hey, just let us know when you need to go. And he's like, no, I'm having a great time. I'll be here for a little while. And then you ask him questions that really make him put his buddy on the spot. And I think after Chris, and then after that, I don't know if he wanted to open himself up anymore to be answering questions on his behalf. Hopefully what I hope happens is somewhere in Bryce's head, he's going, fuck, these are good questions. These are good points. Where is the rotor wash? Why isn't there a ground crew going down there? Why is it that the egg is different from the story we're getting? Like, why do we have different footage and different helicopter pilots and a different crew from the one that we're reporting on? Why? And even Bryce said this himself in this space, and I've got the link to the whole space in the description. So if you want to listen to the first part of this space, please go listen to what he says. Even for Bryce, the end of this special, which we're gonna play part of it right here, Jake Barber and Company. So we're going to play part of it here, sort of what this company Skywatcher is doing. And I said after this aired, this is kind of reminds me of like a UAPX 2.0. UAPX came out with all these guys who were part of the Nimitz. They were all battle buddies, one way or the other. They had equipment. They wanted to look at this from a scientific perspective, and they were looking for funding. This kind of sounds like the exact same thing, except they're doing it a little differently. They're not, trying to get UAPX, where they're trying to get vehicles equipped with equipment that can track these things, and scientifically break them down and look at them. These guys do basically the same thing, but they also telepathically communicate with these craft to get them close enough to take pictures of them. But don't let me tell you about it. Let them tell you about it. And again, fair use. This is transformative work. We're educating the public on the clips that we are sharing, and we are also mocking them. We are informing people on them. We are mocking them, and this is covered under fair use and allowable by law. So again, spooky music. Always spooky music when they're presenting disclosure. So we've got military guys looking through military grade stuff in the desert with their foldable chairs.
The Skywatcher team conducted their own operation with a psionic asset to see if they could summon a UAP themselves.
Look, there's two. Look at this.
Okay, so here's what's going on. This guy is a psionic soldier. He's a psionic asset. They blindfold him and make him deaf and ask him to telepathically call down UFOs. And then these schmucks look in the sky and record it with their cameras and watch what happens. And completely with another dono before we play this. If tying up rope to an aerogel drone makes you feel in love and horny, but you don't blink once talking to Ross Coulthart, sorry, you're messed up. Oh, thank you for the donation. That's the other thing. Again, go check out the interview with Jake Barber, and we got a little clip of him here at the beginning. We'll get another clip. He's the bald guy, but he doesn't blink. He talks like this the whole time when he's giving his testimony about the egg-shaped UFO. There's never right now I want to blink, so I have to blink. Yeah, this guy does not blink. So it's just a weird moment, man. Just a weird moment and a weird interview. But let's listen to him pitch us on this fucking Skywatcher company.
Look at this. Look right here. Look at this one going down and this one going up.
These are the videos. These blurry, blobby, low-res bullshit things. I mean, this could be air traffic. This could be fucking birds. This could be a million things. It's not definitive at all. It's blurry. It's garbage. But let's continue.
This footage from another Skywatcher operation showing the team's protocols. The team hoped to quietly gather evidence for Skywatcher, but instead found themselves in danger once more. And Jake says a UAP dogfight erupted in the sky above them. He believes the craft summoned by the team was warring with a rogue UAP piloted by an unknown entity attempting to intercept.
The thing is literally fucking flapping. You could look at it's a fucking bird. You can see it flapping, you guys. Let me see if I can make this as big as humanly possible for you guys. Okay, watch this object.
Believes the craft summoned by the team.
Look at it flapping right here, right there.
Piloted.
Look at that. Dude, look at that. Look at that. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. Like, if you're falling for this shit, I don't know how Ross Coulthart is falling for this shit. I don't know how Bryce Zabel's falling for this shit. I don't know how their producer Astral's falling for this shit. There is no such thing as psionic fucking super soldiers, okay? That's another thing that happened that I listened to today. Science fucking Bob in a space with these idiots telling them how they have superpowers. There's not one human on Earth that could heal your ailments with their human psionic abilities. There's not one person on the planet that can do it. It doesn't fucking exist. They're not fucking real. Yet this guy has no problem telling people that they can do it. And as a matter of fact, he's seen it for himself. And now we've got guys who said that they picked up an egg-shaped UFO alien spaceship. We don't have footage of it, but we got footage of another one. Oh, and by the way, we have a company called Skywatcher where we've got psionic super soldiers that call UFOs and have dogfights above our heads. Fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I've got no problem saying that sounds fucking crazy, stupid, and makes no sense whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it sounds like a bunch of mentally vulnerable adults wasting their time on their belief systems. And everything that came before this Skywatcher commercial is now null and void. I can't take anything you fucking say seriously because you clearly have a fucking belief system. You think you're a super soldier. You think you have psionic abilities. I'm at a loss. I'm at a fucking loss. With how stupid can people be? Fucking birds. Birds. This one, probably a fucking bird. I can tell you this, they're not having a dogfight. That doesn't look like a fucking dogfight to me.
Craft summoned by the team was warring with a rogue UAP piloted by an unknown entity attempting to intercept Skywatcher's operation.
Tell me what happened. So we set out to do this operation. Right away when the psionic asset went into meditation, he is reporting that he is engaged and in fact piloting a craft.
This guy, he doesn't blink, not once.
So he's actually telepathically controlling alien technology.
Yes.
He's telepathically controlling alien technology, and without skipping a beat, your brand new whistleblower goes, yes. With zero proof, zero evidence, just shitty blurry videos at night of fucking birds. This is good journalism, Bryce Zabel? This is something you want to pay attention to because it's coming from Ross Coulthart. And this is the thing that they threw in this fucking space that drove me crazy. Ross Coulthart's been looking at this for 2 years. Who gives a fuck? Who fucking cares how long he's been looking and working on this story? I do not give a shit. If it takes you 2 years to sift through all of the facts and information and this is what you gave us, where the fuck did all of that time and journalism go? Because I don't see it here. I don't see it in this 2-hour fucking TV special and commercial. I don't see it. I don't see the journalistic integrity here. So I don't give a shit that Ross has worked on this for 2 years, because guess what is another fucking known hoax that was worked on for 4 years or 3 years? 29 Palms. And that was, I believe, 5 journalists that worked on that story. 5 for 3 years. And they got 0 fucking facts right. So I don't give a shit how long, especially Ross Coulthart, who has been proven over and over and over again to be an unreliable narrator. He's a fabricator. He embellishes shit. Just 2 years ago, he was telling us about a balloon on a video and how it's the most groundbreaking video of a UFO ever filmed. Turns out it was a fucking balloon. Just a balloon. And here we are. 2 years he's been working on this story. But before this story broke, we did an interview with this guy in December about his Skywatcher and all the other bullshit he's working on. So we get a commercial before disclosure, and then we get a commercial with disclosure. Thanks, Ross. Way to keep up that journalistic integrity. Way to go, Bryce. You really attached yourself to some high-level journalism. This is a fucking joke. But let's listen. I mean, I just gotta hear this part one more time. So let me get this straight.
So he's actually telepathically controlling alien technology.
Yes. So you got your psionic superhuman soldier in a lawn chair, blindfolded and unable to hear things, telepathically communicating with an alien spaceship. Sure. Yep. Yes. Uh-huh. Sure is. How do you know this? We just know, man. But you figure the next question would be like, well, how do you prove this? Where's the data? Where's the hard evidence here? How can we is this provable? How many professors, physics professors have come down here to watch you guys? Oh, none? Okay.
Yes.
Look at Ross's face. Look at Ross's face. And then just listen to what he says, dude. I mean, Ross is fucking blown away. Look at his face. Yes. Wow.
As crazy as that sounds, that's exactly what we set out to do.
Yeah, that sounds fucking crazy. Even he says it. As crazy as that sounds. Yeah, it sounds fucking crazy. Can you prove it? Because if you can prove it, then it's not crazy. It's hard data. It's science. So you're claiming to be science-based, yet you can't explain scientifically what's going on. You're just assuming this asshole with the blindfold who says he's got psionic. How did you test his psionic abilities? How do you know he's got psionic ability? Where's the test? Can Jake Barber, if you're watching, can you put out the test for your psionic abilities? Can anybody come fucking apply? Can I be a psionic super soldier in your Skywatcher program? You just blindfold me while I eat fucking Doritos and be like, yep, okay, now go up, go down, disappear. Yeah, no. Now go get me the winning lotto tickets and a 6-pack of Bud Light. Like, I mean, what do you control? Like, what are you telling it to do? There's so many questions about your psionic fucking super soldiers. So many questions. You think Bryce Zabel's going to ask any of those questions? You think Ross Coulthart's going to ask any of those questions? No. The answer's fucking no. The answer's no, because they believe it. They believe, I mean, look at Ross's fucking face. He's fucking blown away, man. There is zero doubt in his mind. And that's, honestly, this is my issue. He's at the very worst, or at the very best, excuse me. At the very best, he's just naive and he believes it. But then what kind of journalist does that make you? At worst, he's in on it. And I tend to lean toward the latter, just because of all of the relationships he's burned, ours included. The one I saw him burn with Jay Anderson, the people he's pissed off with his stories. I hope we're coming to the end of the road with Ross Coulthart, but look at this reaction. Oh my God.
Crazy as that sounds, that's exactly what we set out to do, what he reported.
My psionic super soldier. He's also in a band called Psionica. He plays lead guitar and vocals, and he's also the writer. What are we doing here?
A little weird. Right about, I'd say 4 or 5 minutes into the operation, he goes, something's going on, something's wrong, get me out of here. And right about that time, our Overwatch Fred looked up to the sky and saw a disc, a classic lenticular shape.
Look at that. Wow, another blob? Original footage, stabilized, zoom 10 times, Luma curve contrast at 5% speed. This is the best you got. This blurry, probable bird in the sky. And where's all the footage of him going, oh, something's wrong. Oh, my psionic abilities, something, get me out of here. Where's the footage of him saying that? Where's that moment? Oh, we don't have it? Oh, too bad. Too bad. Look at this stupid shit.
Disc.
That was Fred Baker, Special Operations veteran, now part of the Skywatcher team.
So he was flying the egg.
And then he was flying the egg. Yeah, and then this other cool thing happened.
When we had to pull him.
Fred, U.S. Air Force Special Warfare veteran. Thank you for your service, but I think you were grossly mistaken and you're being taken for a ride, and you might be a little bit mentally vulnerable. And these people are taking advantage of your knowledge, your service, and your overall life, your time. Get out, Fred. Get out while you can, Fred. Because this ain't going to get anywhere for you, buddy.
Out of this, that's when the egg dropped.
Wow, so at the very moment that he's essentially detaching his mind from the object, you see it fall.
Correct.
Correct. Yet there's no footage. There's nothing. The best they got was this. There you go. I don't see an egg falling. I don't see the psionic operator detaching himself from this. I don't see any of the shit you're describing, Fred. What the fuck are you talking about, pal? I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Like, what's going on? Blizzard, $5 dono, $2.51 dono. I don't know, dono. Scion shit. Bullshit news shit nation. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. This is a joke, you guys. This is the best they got. It's the best they got. Here's some footage. Like, somebody, like, the fact that this was recreated this quickly, you know, like, I got the pickup video, not a fake. I love it, Pixel Pun. You know, like, it's recreatable. At the very least, it shows that this is so recreatable. That's kind of why I'm looking forward to see what the Corridor crew does with this and how they see what they do with it doesn't roll though. This one doesn't roll. You got to get it to roll. Pretty good though. Pretty good. So this is Jake Barber. He writes, and by the way, let's see. Last I checked, last we did the show, I think we touched on this. He was at 9,000 followers. He's now at 21,000, almost 22,000 followers, and he's following 9 people. Let's see who he's following. Marique von Klompadick, good old Shane Franks, who thinks he talks to UFOs and can heal things. Michael Herrera, known whistleblowing liar. Donald Trump Jr., Logan Paul, Fred Baker, which is the guy we saw on TV, SpaceX, and Amal Candle. Who's Amal Candle? Amar Candle. Who is that? So not a very good sample size of people to follow, especially if you're unbiased and looking for truth. I don't think I see one person on there that is for that. I don't know Fred Baker, but based off the small clip I know, I feel like he's incredibly gullible. And I don't know Mark Handel, but it is weird. Who the hell is this guy? Jesse Michaels, Gary P. Nolan, Matthew Pines, Jake Barber, Gerb. Interesting. So anyway, Jake Barber says, hello all. This is our humble first edition of our website. This is our public disclosure project / entity. We are looking forward to providing an opportunity for everyone to become a first-hand witness through this effort. Yep. Can't get to it. You have to sign up for it. Oh, God. I don't want to sign up for this. No, you're not going to make me do it. I don't. Ugh, gross. They're making me give them their email. Just fucking shady and gross. Let's check out what else this guy has said so far in the last few days. American flag is so patriotic. Something went wrong. UFO debrief stuff. He's retweeted his buddy Fred Baker's interview with Ross. He's retweeting stuff from Lou Elizondo. Yeah, this guy, I'm sorry, uncredible as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for your service, but I don't believe a fucking thing you're saying. And I don't trust your ability to decipher bullshit from truth. You've shown pretty extensively that you think people could speak to alien spaceships. As far as I'm concerned, you're not credible. And if somebody else wants to give me a good reason as to why you should be considered credible, I mean, I'm all ears. I'm willing to listen, but this is awful. This is awful. I mean, it really, really is. Let's check out the Skywatcher. Look at this bullshit. It's got 11,000 followers. Thanks for following along. We will share more soon. If you're interested in assisting, please DM us with brief context. Success will require a huge collaborative effort. Please come work with us for free while we make money. Or try to. I don't think it's going to be successful. I think it's going to fall on its ass just like fucking UAPX or any other Skywatcher program. They're all looking to you for money. Look at this, Stephen Greenstreet. Can you confirm News Nation's reporting that your Skywatcher company had been working with the Department of Defense and that it was only founded 2 months ago? On December 22nd, Jake Barber appeared on News Nation with Ross Coulthart to promote his tech company. Coulthart claims Barber's Skywatcher Technologies Corporation had been helping the Pentagon track mystery drones. He's got a filing date for this company on November 27th, 2024. It's only 2 months old. Going on 4 months old now. Yeah, that's a good question. Let me see here. They've been helping the Pentagon track mystery drones, but the company was only formed 3 weeks before that. Yeah, I would like to see that confirmed as well, because I bet that's bullshit. Okay. Skywatcher is an elite team of aerial intelligence experts and scientists. We are privately funded and are not seeking any form of revenue or funding from the public. We hope this proves to be a valuable gift to the world as we usher in a new era. Okay, well then who's funding it? And what are you going to share exactly with the public? Are you beholden to the people that are funding this? How much money have they given you? God, dude, this opens up so many fucking questions. Who is funding this shit? Is it Peter Thiel? Might be Peter Thiel. Seems like all roads point to Peter Thiel. He's already funding Jesse Michaels and his bullshit. So, I mean, wouldn't shock me if he's funding dude, oh my God. These guys are just looking to make money however they can. It's pretty fucked. But here we are. Anyway, you guys, I guess the last thing we could talk about is we've got a new president. This fucking guy. I don't know what the hell Elon Musk is doing. Oh my God, man. I used to really like him, and it just like UFO Shane, this guy makes it so hard for you to like him. It's like everything he does is done to alienate you. Just fucking... anyway, we've got a new president. I didn't vote for this new president, but I hope he does a good job. I feel like I've said that for the last 5 elections. I have not voted for anyone that has been elected since shit, man. I don't think I've ever voted for a president that's been elected, now that I think of it. Maybe my very, very, very first vote when I was fresh out of the first thing I did at age 18 is I went and voted. I'm trying to think. I probably voted for George Bush because my family was Republican, and you're a dumb kid. You vote for who your family says you should vote for based off what they say because you trust them. But then you go to college, you get your own opinions, you sort of form the kind of adult and the belief systems that you really, really want to adhere to as you go forward into the world. And I just haven't connected to that at all with any sitting president in the last 5 election runs. I don't have that feeling with President Trump. But like with every other president, shit, man, I want him to do a great job, and I'm going to give him as much opportunity to do so. But when he's got billionaires, literally, I listened to the whole clip, and I understand he was sharing love, but the force and the way in which he saluted at that is just reminiscent of some really scary shit. And it doesn't leave a good taste in American mouths as far as what might be coming. It really doesn't. It doesn't look good. And I hope the president addresses it and says, hey, we all know he didn't mean it that way. But going forward, we can't have that. We just don't want anybody to misconstrue things we're saying, especially if they're words of peace. Let's not combine them with salutes of hatred. Let's just not do that. But anyway, you guys, I hope this election season hasn't worn you out too bad. I hope the election results hasn't stressed you out or warned you out too bad. The best thing to do is just get out, get away from it. Like today, I went and played some golf. feels so fucking great. It's been a long time since I played some golf. And you know, it's one of my resolutions was to get back out on the golf course, and I shut my phone off for 3 hours. It was great. And then when I came home, I'm like, nah, you know, I feel like doing a show today. I want to talk about the egg and all the bullshit and my conversation with Ross Coulthart, and I want to put my opinion out there. Yeah, so that's what we did. And so I appreciate everyone who was here. If you guys have any questions, throw them up in all caps or throw it up as a super chat, and we'll get to those questions. You know, but yeah, I think we're going to wrap up the show here in a couple of minutes. I'm trying to think of what else maybe we can discuss. I thought there was a really cool video I watched last night. Well, first off, I'm watching this. Dude, I love being educated. I know that sounds a little like egotistical, I guess, but I do just love learning about shit. And one of the things I was learning about last night was the SR-71 Blackbird and the history of it, and all of the technicalities of it. I mean, this plane was, I believe it was launched in 1964 officially. Where's this video I was watching of this thing? Oh, there it is. This is the video I was checking out, how the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird works. And in just a short time I was watching it, it's talking about the aerodynamics, how it folds around the plane, how they designed it, all of the rivets, all of like how much fuel it holds. You know, it costs, God, I did the math last night. It was like jet fuel is like $6.21 a gallon. And this thing holds, oh my gosh, it was basically almost $1 million to fill this thing with gas. It was insane. Each time it flies, just gasoline. It described, you know, it was, I haven't gone through the whole thing, but, you know, talk about the fuselage, why it was designed the way it was, what happens to the air molecules around the pilots, like all of these things that they had to think about and they had to design and engineer, and you think about this shit, man, and you're like, dude, this was 1964 that they came out with this thing. And it isn't until as of last year where someone can literally go through every nut and bolt of this plane because it's so old, and the technologies on this thing, I'm sure, led to other breakthrough techs and in the new designs and planes that God knows what's flying now. This thing was able to cruise at almost 90,000 feet. It's the fastest plane ever made for decades. Like it could not be caught by missiles. It just outran missiles. It was faster than anything. Not one bomb, not one ammunition on this entire plane. It was just strictly made to spy and reconnaissance. And I can't wait to find out about the engine and all just the neat little engineering things, like the ability to have two jet engines at the high altitudes. Like, how does it? With the lack of oxygen, you know, just all sorts of shit that they designed, and I just can't wait to learn about it. But anyway, it made me think of a mission that NASA had launched to Jupiter to explore all of its moons, and how one of the moons is almost completely explored, and just all of the different measurements and just wonderful innovations, again, made by humans. And it always makes me think to myself, like, it always makes me think to myself, like, how stupid I was to believe that alien spacecraft were visiting here when we have all of these incredible discoveries and technologies and things that are actually real, and how amazing and wonderful these technologies are, and how highly engineered they are. And in 1964, if you only saw the the cones that come out of the engines of that plane, you would think it was an alien spaceship part or an alien spaceship itself, especially if you don't have the context of the program in which it sits in. And I think that happens all the time. I think it might be happening with this Jake Barber guy where I think maybe he did pick up something that looked like an egg. I don't not believe that part. I think that's very possible. But guess what? There's a lot of technologies within the American military arsenal that look like smooth, round, white eggs, including a lot of reconnaissance balloons and aerogel. I don't want to call them planes, but craft. These are real technologies. These are things that exist. And if he doesn't know about those things, or if he's not read into those programs or those technologies, and he's just picking it up with a band of buddies in his helicopter because that's what they were ordered to do, yeah, they might look down and go, what the fuck is that? That looks alien. It looks alien. But then to go to the next step and say it is without having confirmed it for yourself at all is stupid. It's just stupid. Anyway, let's see. We have, yeah, guys, check out the Discord. Pinzer, thank you for sharing the Discord. We got the Discord link there. Felipe Frederick says scrambled eggs or carrot stew, Lou. Scrambled eggs or carrot stew. I was just thinking, I made a really good carrot puree the other night. And that was a lot of fun to make. It's a tough question. I think I'm going to go. Yeah, I think I'm going to go. Well, you said stew, so I'm going to go scrambled eggs. I don't know how much I would like a carrot stew. That's just like carrot water. Well, I'll go with, yeah, I'll stick with the scrambled eggs. I could throw some things in scrambled eggs. Carrot stew kind of paints me into a corner there. Steve Long says, well said, Lou. Thanks for another great show this week, killing in 2025. We got to get you back on the show. And the next time something big happens, I'll get you back on here, Steve, because I always love our conversations. I just haven't been very consistent with these shows for many reasons, and I've explained those, and I think you know what they are. Ron Paul was my first vote. Me too. Well, it wasn't my first vote, but yeah, that's who I voted for, man. I loved Ron Paul. Not everything Ron Paul said, but a lot of things. Where did you live pre-LA? I lived in New York City for almost 7 years. And then before that, I grew up in Florida and Miami. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys, fun show. Please share it. Tell people about it. We had a great audience today. Really nice big audience, which is great. Always love to see that. And here's great news. I've been wanting to say this for a while. Here's the best news that I think I've had at all for a while. I wanted to share this with you guys. So as you guys know, when we were at UCR, we were almost at 14,000 subscribers. 14,000. Since we changed from UCR to Lube Reviews, we've gone from 14,000 to 11,915. It's as low as we've gotten. And we haven't gone below that in months. So congratulations, everyone. We've hit rock bottom. I don't think we're going to lose much more followers than this. I could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. But it seems like it's nothing but up from now. So, as you can see, we're at 11,930. It's a live statistic. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to unsubscribe, yeah, that's okay too. You know, whichever one you want to do. But we would prefer the subscription. It's nice to see that we're finally out of the hole. We have found our audience. The audience has found us. We're available on podcasts. So if you guys want to listen to the show on podcast, it's usually up the next day, sometimes 2 days after. But I just uploaded Saturday show today, so I'll upload this one tomorrow. And yeah, so I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was fun and exciting. And yeah, so there are my analytics. And by the way, I've been showing my analytics on YouTube for years now. It would be nice to see Matt Ford's. Been asking for Matt Ford's for a few years now, and we still have yet to see it. Where's your analytics, Matt Ford? Since the buggers make all the money. As you saw here, I've made $86 in 2 months. By the way, guys, did I say that we have our Venmo link in the description now below in the link tree? So check out the Venmo link. Check out the link that pins are shared with the our Discord. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I've got so many other things that I'm doing and working on. I try to stay active. This is the place I'm most active here on YouTube. I'm most active on Twitter, so follow me there if you want to interact with me at Lou Angeles. Those are the best places to interact with me. I try to do the Discord. We have a Discord. I love that you guys share and clip the shows on the Discord. Have conversations that are safe and free of judgment on our Discord. So go check out the Discord. Blizzard, thank you so damn much. Pinzer, our mod, thanks Lou. Thanks for everyone being here. I forget about Discord. I forget about Discord too. Many thanks, Lou. You're welcome, Builder Lee. I appreciate all your support on the old Twitter. Lord Bass, B Baker, Simon Fly, all of you guys always support me, and you guys have been here for a long time, and I love and appreciate all of you. Dave B, same to you. Yeah, I'm not sure when we'll be on next, but of course it'll be when big breaking news happens. For sure, you'll see an episode and opinions coming from me specifically. Anyway, you guys, I think that's it. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so damn much for coming to hang out. Again, ring the bell. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Once again, thank you for embarking on this journey of discovery together. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and thank you for subscribing and helping us raise the bar here at Lou Reviews. Until next time, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see y'all soon. Peace out. Gotta say, I'm loving all of these puns, you guys. Stay educated. Later, extraterrestrials. Later, experiencers. You guys are the best. Love y'all. Have a great night.